Trapped by the belief that I'm not good enough, bound by the limitations and the lies that consumed my world, this was me. It wasn't until I took the biggest leap in my life to know and trust the power within. And it was at that moment I made a choice. My past will not define me anymore. Hello, I am Teri Cardula, and I know I am not alone in this. Over the years, I have found that the number one mistake that we make is that we get in the way of our own success story. Yes, I said it. On this show, together we'll tackle limiting beliefs, self sabotage, getting stuck, fear, doubt, overwhelm, and the imposter syndrome. Join us on this journey designed to transport you beyond your limitations to a world where anything is possible. This is Talking with Teri. Hello, and welcome back to Talking with Teri, where we have powerful conversations to transform your life and your business. And I feel like there should be a warning today. Warning, 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 may contain excess energy. Okay. So I'm just warning people. Okay. Because who knows? This might just be off the charts. Anyway, our guest today is one of those people that when you meet her, you just absolutely fall in love with. I know I did. So I am here with Katia Rave.
Yeah, you did it.
I did it. Whew. Okay. I always tell people language is not my first language, and especially when you're talking French on me. Okay. So Katia is a business coach, speaker, author who speaks 3 languages. Listen to this: French, English, and money. Money. Okay. She helps small business owners make more money, reach a bigger market, and be seen on stages with a speech that converts into money into the bank. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Teri. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited. So I have to just share with people, like I don't even know how we connected, because I was on somehow I got on your podcast and we just like fell in love. I don't know.
Totally.
I don't know if it was mutual. I don't know if it was mutual, but it was on my heart. Like I just fell in love with you. So, oh my goodness. So you guys are in for a treat. So tell people that have not met you yet, a little bit about you and how you came to be where you're at today.
Well, I came to be where I'm at as a business coach. I'm the daughter of entrepreneurs and had businesses, came in America, built businesses, and I was in the beauty industry, believe it or not, hair salon and then spa, and totally moved into this. I love business. Right. I love business.
Yeah.
I love business. I love business. And I really wanted to help people who were really actually into the artist section. That's how I started helping them. I saw so many artists who were so good at their craft and not good at business. That's kind of really the short story.
Yeah, well, that starving artist, kind of syndrome, right?
And they don't have to be. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Right? Ah,
Yeah.
do you still work with starving artists? Because I know a few.
I still do.
Good.
So I have a BFA, a Bachelor in Fine Art. I went into photojournalism, was published, and definitely met so many photojournalists, so many photographers, so many graphic designers who were in that field. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's so freaking talented. You just need to know how to run a business, and that's kind of how it all started.
Agreed. I don't care what industry you're in. And what's so fascinating, I have a good friend that he's one of the professors at Metro University, and they now tie in because they did the research and they have shown that in all the university classes that they have, entrepreneurship is not talked about except for the business. That's for an MBA. And ironically, the folks that go into their MBA, they go into, the business leadership piece, but they don't typically have a product, a business necessarily that they do. They go into corporate, which is so kind of backwards. So now his mission is to have it in every single class where entrepreneurship is talked about in every single class of because you never know when you become a musician, if you want to take that into becoming a business, or going into, whatever that teaching, or even a teacher, like, yes, you might go into, education, but at some point you might turn that into a business. So I just think it's so brilliant that we start talking about these conversations.
I know. Interior designers. I had like so many interior designers. They spent like $60,000 in this art school and literally had no clue how to run the business after. It was so, I was like, I'm the savior, right?
Yeah, I agree. Now, I always tell I always tell people when they graduate from high school and go into college, I say, take your electives in business. If
Yes.
you do nothing else, that is like my tip for, college grads. So anyone who's listening that has students going to college, going off to college, tell them to take electives in business
So
because
smart.
you
So
just don't
smart.
you just don't ever know. Like
Yeah.
you just never know. And
That's
it's
so
an
true.
elective. It's an elective,
So
right?
true. That's so true.
So anyways, but okay. So I want to dive in because I love hearing people's story about how they overcame a challenge, a barrier, or a block that really made them go deep within to really explore, like, what am I here to do? What am I what is my bigger purpose here? So tell me
Mhm.
tell me one of those moments for you that you had to overcome something.
So I really have two, two very vivid one. The first one is, so I went from being in the beauty, being into hair salons, into opening a huge spa, 3,000 square feet, beautiful staff. I had the best employees, the best product. You looked like you were in France when when you walked in, and we actually did not work. After 5 years, we had to close the door. I took this failure very personally.
Yeah.
I said, never again, I will be in business. That's when I went back to school to get a BFA, right? A Bachelor
Yeah.
in Fine Art. One of the things that I had not, it was one of those moments. One of the things that I had not realized, it's sometimes I wish I would have had a coach back then because there would have been a very different story, number one.
Yeah.
But the second thing is sometimes so little make you succeed or makes you fail. One of the big difference between being a hair salon and being a spa, one is necessity, the other one is luxury. Your marketing is totally different.
Yeah. You're right.
Your avatar is very different. Your ideal client never even crossed my mind. For me, it was the same client because the same client were coming was still coming. It was a combination of hair and spa. So the same client were coming, but the new client, the people that I was driving by, totally different. And that was a big haha moment for me. I didn't want to hear about business, went back to school. And then in school, I saw all these artists and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to help them, but how can I help them when I have these, like, hey, I failed. So I decided to hire a coach and we really dived in on what happened with the spa. I wanted to know where could have I done things different.
Yeah.
And when I figured out it was that tiny, I was already fascinated by business. That was
Yeah.
a huge background for me. I was like, this is it. I will never have someone. If I can help them, I will do that. So that was, that's a huge moment. The second moment
Well,
was,
I think let's pause for a
yeah,
second because I
yeah,
think that is so powerful, like that lesson in failure, because I think we become yes, we would love to all avoid failure if possible, but I feel like failure is one of those
it puts me where I am
powerful.
today.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't allow ourselves to fail, right? And you're right, you're so close. And I think when you said that, I just remembered that the book 3 Feet from Gold, and they
Yes.
talk about so often we stop right before we
That light
have it,
bulb.
right? The light bulb or and we have to go through that struggle. We have to go through that pain and having quote that failed business, right? That is giving you all of the missing pieces
Oh,
that's never going to happen again, right? I've
that was
had
totally.
people that have failed businesses, it's not their first business, it's their fourth or fifth or sixth, and they're like, wait, what am I missing here versus where I was missing, so I just think that there's so much gold in the failure. And if we
Mm,
can see it as if we can see it as that,
yeah.
yes, it sucks at the moment. And there's no, sugarcoating that at the moment. But when we can dig down and what you did was brilliant. And I don't know that everybody does that. I don't know. Because I mean, you went back and what I call it, the plan to review. Like you really
Yes.
was like, okay, what review, what happened, what didn't happen, what worked, what didn't work, and you did a deep dive. And I don't think necessarily people want to go back there because it's so painful, right?
Oh, it
Um,
was. And
but
the
when we go
fact, and
back there,
I took it very personally. And that was the
yeah,
other thing. That's you know what? It's a neutral event, right?
yeah,
We have to stop taking things personally. And it was
yeah.
it was the moment that I say, okay, it's not personal. What can I learn from it? Then I was able to dive back, like what you just
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a hard one because like it's because we're the one who's running the ship in a lot of ways.
right.
It's it is us, right? And
Right.
so not taking it personally, it is a yeah, that's a tough one because
It is.
we have to take our ownership in what we did with it.
Right.
At the same time, it is business, right? Like it's like, okay, didn't work. Okay, let's pick up all the lessons that we learned from that has made us a better person, a better owner, a better employee, a better whatever, and let's move that forward with us. So that's powerful. And I think if nothing else, like when we do fail, because it's not a matter of if, it's when we do fail, right? And there was is Susan Blakely who does the Spanx. I remember listening to her speak one day a few years ago, and she had said that at the dinner table, her dad would ask them, her and her brother, what did you fail at today? And I thought it was brilliant
Mhm. I love
because
it.
we were ingraining they were ingraining in the kids like, hey, like it's okay to fail. And so one day she's like, I don't know, she's kind of like making something up because she's like, I didn't fail today, dad, I didn't fail. And I think she shares the story that she's like, I ate a french fry or something like that. It was so funny that but it was like but it was a part of the language, right? Like it's okay to fail, it's okay to make mistakes. So
It is.
anyways, I think that's a kind of a powerful message if we can teach that younger, because I think sometimes we are, and I gotta, just recently my daughter came home and did something and I was like, okay, well, what did we learn from that, right? And we use it as a learning versus like a shaming.
Yeah. It's it's interesting, going back through, and taking a dive. Of course, the emotion comes, like
Yeah.
you said,
Mhm.
and but when you can really say, okay, this is I'm gonna take notes. What did I learn? And it was actually fascinating, to
Yeah.
step through. So, grateful I did it. And
Yeah.
grateful for the lesson. I would not be a business coach today. It really
Yeah.
like it was like a light bulb. So I knew I love business. And then when I got a business coach and I was like, what didn't work? And she was like, it was so little. And I was like, oh my gosh, like so little.
I don't know if that would make me feel better or worse, right? Like it was
Oh, well, I have to tell you, it did not make me feel better at the
I
beginning.
know, I'm like, you were a half a centimeter off there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what
It's
are you
like,
gonna do?
all this work for nothing.
Oh
And,
my gosh,
uh,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, I'm glad we can laugh about it now, right? But I'm sure at the
oh,
moment
totally,
it was
totally.
extraordinarily painful. And again, we become stronger when we move through that and not a let, because I think so often we have a failure like that and we're like, okay, hanging it up, no more, no more, But so often, what I have found is even when we want to hang up it and be like, I'm done, there's that stinking burning light inside of us that says, wait, wait. And it might dim for a moment.
Yeah.
It might dim for a season even, but then it starts to get brighter and brighter and loud. And then it's like, and you're back there and you're like, okay, I'm jumping back on,
Yeah.
I'm doing this because that's what your gift is to this planet.
And no matter how much that was one of the most beautiful lessons. It's no matter how much I tried to dim it and say never again. It just if you are meant,
Yes. Oh, that
you
just
know
makes
what you're
me
good
dance,
at. You
right?
know what you want to do. You know what you were gifted at. And I was like,
Yeah,
how dare God gives me this beautiful gift, and how dare am I not to use it? So
exactly. Ah, that's beautiful. All right, and you said there was another like
yeah,
pow moment.
yeah, there's another one where I had just really at the beginning, right? I just started, I had changed coaches, and I was doing everything they wanted to do. I was doing the work. And nothing was happening. It was happening, but it wasn't happening as fast as I wanted. And it was very interesting. It was one of those moments where I really realized, and we are on a journey, right? A business is a marathon. It's an Ironman. It
Yeah.
is not a sprint. And that was a really powerful moment for me because I just wanted to be at the $500,000 already, right? And you know, for going from zero to 500,000 in 12 months is no matter how much you do the work, you have to establish your business. You have to understand how it works. You have to see and implement the strategy of the level of the business where you're at. And that was something then who was really one of those moments where I was like, Katia, this is an Ironman.
Yeah.
And that changed everything for me.
And then Ironman, if you really break that down, it's like 3 areas, right? And it's
Mm.
like 3 like I mean, there's a marathon inside the Ironman, right?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
am and
I'm a triathlete. I do triathlon, Olympic triathlon. I cannot even fathom.
I can't either. I did a
an
marathon one
Ironman.
time and I was like, I'm going
I
to
was like,
die.
nope, not for me.
And I can't even imagine that that's like the like icing on the top, like that's what I did was I,
Started.
like, no. I am telling you, it's powerful, but it is such a different mindset when we think it about the long term game. And
Yeah.
yes, like there's again going back to that Iron Man is like there's 3 big components. They're all a little bit different, right? You have your building of your business, you have your growth of your the startup, the build, and then
Yeah.
you have like
And
the
then the scaling.
yeah, or the scaling of the exit. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like it's powerful to think about, that in that way. And so
Right. So
no
when you
matter
want to
where we're at on
scale,
our journey, yeah.
right. And if you want to scale on year one, you're missing everything and you're not successful. There is stages of the business, and the exact same way that there is stages in into an Ironman. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's exactly that. And if you're not, if you do the running before the swimming, then you might drown. Right, there's a
Yeah.
reason why swimming is first, right? And whether you're doing a sprint triathlon or Olympic or Ironman, there's a reason why it's made that way. And it's the same in business. And we are so good at saying no problem for triathlon, but then
Yeah.
when it's about the business, we challenging. We like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to do this. And there is steps. So that was
Yeah.
that was a big thing for me. It's like, okay, I'm on a journey.
Yes. Yeah, and I agree. And every part of that business journey, there's also the personal development that goes right along with it, right? Like there's
Right.
a parallel process of each of those journeys of it's like it's discovering and rediscovering all of this yumminess about us and who we are in the process. Is who are we becoming in the process, along with, someone gave me it was really interesting. When I was pregnant with my daughter, my business coach, so okay, so we have 9 months now. Okay. And he's like, our business plan is what did he say? We're growing 2 things, right? We're growing your business and we're growing your baby at the same time. Same process, right? And so he's like, we have 9 months. So we did a 9-month plan. And he's like,
Mhm.
because I was like, I can get my business to the place where it's running by itself because I got some other stuff that's going on here, and it was just really interesting about, it's like, it is kind of like a baby. It's like
Yeah.
growing this baby and it's like, from the beginning to end and
And it's the baby who's growing, and it's the woman who's carrying who's
yeah,
growing,
yeah.
right?
I
Because
mean,
you
it's like
get
this
to
like
learn so much.
multifaceted.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Right.
multifaceted. And it was so fun. It was like, okay, I'm growing a rib today, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm growing an audience today. Like, and so it was really weird. It was like we have 2 babies that were growing here, and it is kind of like
Yeah.
that process. And who do we get to become in that process is just
Right.
is I don't know. Like, I think, having that business piece of it and who we get to become is really the juice,
Yes,
right? Like it is.
I agree. The business part who grows, yes, but the growth then you have personally. I just started a daily show, right? Like a morning show every morning at 7 a.m. during the week. I go in for 15 minutes and I give people just like silly little tips than I do, right? Because I hear this all the time. I could have never done that when I
Yeah,
started the business because I didn't know those tips. I didn't know those shortcuts. I didn't know these, these little silly thing who makes my day an amazing day versus a crappy day. And those things, you have to embody them. You have to be able to explore them, and then you're able to give them. I could have never had that show, like
Yeah.
those
It,
kind of things is yeah.
it's incredible. So, what is one, I don't know, in your journey, what is one thing that you've picked up? And I know there's many, many, but like if we were to hone it down to one thing that we can, provide some wisdom on to the audience and they can take away this nugget today and be like, okay, thank you, Katia, for, sharing this information with me. I can start to implement this today. Based on your knowledge, based on your brilliance, what would you share today with the audience to have folks start to take action with today?
Be here, be present
Mm,
to everything you do. What does that mean?
I love it.
My laptop is turned off, my phone is turned off, and I am totally present with you guys, the audience. I'm totally present with Teri. I am not getting distracted by anything. Every single thing I do in my business, I show up that way. I do not believe in multitasking, because when I
Agreed.
multitask, I actually take so much more time doing so many things. What I mean by being present is being 100 focused into what I do. Because time for me, it's not, I don't believe, I mean, we put in time as human, right? We came in and we say, we're going to calculate time and all that. For me, it's like, all right, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to be 100% focused. It has totally changed. I tell my client, I give them method, I give them ways of being able to put that. They achieve so much more than they used to just by taking up. There's absolutely nothing. Everything is empty on my computer. I don't have anything on my desktop. I don't want distraction, because I'm here. And what you're going to hear all of my clients or my audiences when I speak on my podcast, or I connect with people.
Yeah,
This is what they love. I connect with them. That's
that's
the
beautiful.
difference. There's many business coaches out there, right? How do you make yourself different? Whether you are a business coach or health coach or whatever you do, be present for people, show up for them, show them you're connecting, show them they're not just a credit card.
Yeah.
That's for me is
That's
everything.
Yeah, gosh, and we need that message more than ever. And we're so in alignment because my meditation this morning was titled "Be Present." It was like my meditation today. So, but you're absolutely right. I think sometimes we get lost in the minutia and we can easily get distracted. And so, when you can take that time to be present and ground yourself and allow yourself to be, really, present for that person, it is powerful. It is absolutely powerful. So
I
thank
mean,
you.
that's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. So thank you for being here. Where do folks find more about you? I know that we're going to be doing some collaboration, and we're just going to put a little bit of a teaser out here that right before we hopped on this call, I'm like, I want you to come and be a part of something that we're going to create in the next few months. So I'm just putting a little teaser out there for you. But where can people find you?
You can find me at Katia, Katia Rave, Rave, Rave. I am on all social media at katiarave.com. And every morning, if you want to follow me, if you go to Katia Rave, on Facebook, find me, like me. It's on my personal page. And I have this petit café, little coffee with Katia every morning at 7 a.m. Get to know people, and this is what it's about. It's getting to know each other, and then we can maybe take it further. But come and get to know me a little bit.
I love it. And I'm going to join you. I'm going to get that information and I'm going to join you on your coffee talks. So I love it. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
I am so grateful that you joined me for this episode. If you've enjoyed this, then there's just one thing that I would like you to do. Click to subscribe and leave me a rating and review. As my way to thank you, let's connect for a free consultation. Just reach out to me at Talking With Teri, that's TERI.com, to book your time.